last time you guys wrapped up your stuff from the Clavicus Vile Shrine, hunting down those vampires. You decided to take your loot, keep a fair amount of it, and take the rest and sell it at the near-ish city of Rahad, where we had some interactions where Vale found that there was a woman who was sad that her son had gone off to fight with some general in Skyrim to join the war to overthrow the Empire. She was a cobbler. He bought some shoes. Was kind to her at a good moment. There was some debate about whether or not we wanted to stay outside or inside. We found that there were an inn that was really nice but kind of empty overall. Anything else I'm missing? Heard about the raiders at the tavern. I don't know if what do you exactly remember from that, but we'll continue talking about it, since when you guys ventured further on, you found a small caravan that had come under attack, that had backed up against one of these large towering rock faces out in the desert. Smaller rocks kind of all around the side to give you guys a little bit of cover, and maneuvering against the horsemen who came up to challenge you. But after dispatching a few of them and having a few of their own caught by the defenders' crossbows, they decided to call off the attack. But first they did some weird... He got all their attention, everybody's attention. His voice rang out a pure tone, and a light shot from his chest up his arm into his weapon, and he kind of rallied everybody around him, and they did not press the attack. They left. The stories in the future will... The legends, the myths, will say that the hero rose up out of a pool of water out in the desert to save a group of merchants, and that this, or maybe somewhere else, is where this supposed chosen one first showed himself. But there are, conflicting myths. There was a woman. There were a number of people who were injured. Looks like they had finally gotten tired of running and had decided to defend themselves, and maybe had been doing so for a while. One of the women, an older, graying hair, Redguard woman, veil healed, and as the others came in, started talking, Wynn, starting to feel maybe a little bit more comfortable around in her own environment, was starting to chat up and try to connect with some of these people a little bit. And one of them, the woman, leaned over so that she could see around Vale, and was like, Wynn? And that's where we wrapped up. So that's where we are. You hear Wynn. What do you do?
I turn to look at the direction of the person, and I guess I spot her, and I'm like, Naomi?
It is you. She struggles to get up. Vale,
No.
she reaches out to grab onto you and kind of try and pull herself up.
I'll help her unless I think she shouldn't be standing up.
She has a strong grasp, you realize, as she grabs your arm with one of her hands and holds on pretty tight and yanks to kind of get herself up, and approaches slowly towards Wynn, a little bit cautiously, and then her face warms and she smiles and she opens up her arms and comes at you.
I meet her halfway, and I lift her up, and I kind of spin her around a second or two.
She's like, ah! We hear a little bit of crack. She's like, you're so She like puts her arms on your like muscular. She grabs onto your muscular arms and is like, "You're so big. You've grown." Oh,
Been a long time.
it has. Oh, I knew there would be a light in the darkness.
What do you mean by that?
Points over at Vale. No. That I'd find someone. That not all was lost.
Well, we couldn't just let those guys like overtake you or anything, especially with him. And I point back at Vale. He's too good.
She kind of smiles, bittersweet.
Personal as your eye roll.
She smiles, really bittersweetly, and like a tear, and she composes herself. Win. We are all that's left.
No, you can't. No.
Unless there are others like me. I don't think there's anyone left.
What do you mean? How is that possible?
She looks back over where the raiders ran off to. She says, "The Scourge."
That's them? Huh.
At this point, what the guy who had, remember there was a guy who had like a sword who didn't really look like he knew what he was doing with it, who came up to you, Vale, to like, when you kind of popped up. He's a very small, scrawny Redguard. Maybe 20 years old. Maybe younger. Who kind of steps forward at that point and is like, they chased us. They've been chasing us for weeks now. He looks around. This is less than half of us. We found Naomi here. And, we joined up together and
Able to do much.
thought we had lost them there for a bit, but they keep finding us.
By this is us, do you, Naomi, mean like the wise woman, or do you mean the tribe?
Naomi says, "You are the first one of our tribe that I've seen in months."
I mean, it's not uncommon for us to go deep into the desert. Are you sure you haven't? Nothing?
I hope I'm wrong. But I've seen, and we were running. They just kept. We heard news over the last few months that one of the Havens, the wise woman Havens, was attacked. And then just all hell broke loose. The desert, and I don't know, maybe you're not deep enough into it yet, but that thing where the guy was talking about how the desert had changed, that's not as impressive or cool. You may have noticed that, I don't know, especially at nighttime, it seems to be the most noticeable when the stars are out. Like it used to be, no matter where you look, just this breathtaking, multiple moons in the sky, stars glittering off the ground, and it just like feels dark, dimmer, and like the ground itself is just not.
We need to stop them then.
She looks over at the rest of you. How you brought her to me? She looks at Vale.
Well, she is part of our quest.
when you say you want to stop them, but I don't know if there is any stopping them.
What do you know?
I know that the scourge hunted us down and it's been harrying us everywhere we went.
Do you remember?
I was captured for a time. Yeah, I like that. She was captured for a time. And then and then these guys rescued me. That's perfect.
What were they looking
Smart,
for?
nice.
Us, me.
Your tribe or you specifically?
All of us. They would ask me when I was their captive, they would ask me where the other havens were. I don't know.
I come over
I didn't
and put a
tell them.
hand on Wynn's shoulder, which is more like me reaching up because I'm small.
Small.
Yes, the patented Neolilphonet. There.
There.
That's all I got, man.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
hey,
We should
I
do
got
it
it
more.
before.
Can
Oh, wait.
I?
I see you.
Who/what is the scourge, and why are they after you and your tribe?
That's what he calls himself.
That dude?
The big man with the big sword on the big horse
Their leader.
and the eye patch.
And are a group of people who congregate together once a decade. But more than that, they are the keeper of many secrets, and they spread so much knowledge to various tribes that roam the areas and sometimes accompany them on their
The
travels.
Scourge do?
No, the wise woman.
Okay.
Oh, they're after the wise women.
And by
For
proxy, the last of the roaming tribes, I'm assuming.
And you are from this tribe of wise women, Wynn?
I'm a tribe that picked me as the next wise woman. But nothing came from it. I ended up getting captured and jailed.
I heard that you had disappeared.
That's a word for it. I was sent on a quest by one of the wise women to collect something, and I got captured, and instead of sold into slavery, they threw me into a cell.
Sounds like a setup to me.
They would never. It's impossible.
Okay. I believe you.
So, why are you here, Wynn? How did you...
Looking for something specific, and actually it's weird how this happened, but you might be very useful in our
exactly
quest.
the one you're looking for? Oh,
Right. We're looking for the song of something or other. The song of...
of life?
We're looking for the song of life.
She nods. It was foretold that the Song of Life would be taken at the coming of a new era.
By whom?
Let us hope it is you.
The song of life, though, where is it?
It is at the third haven. The haven of Nebrisatel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a name of a
Sorry. Yeah.
Mm.
Haven Nebrisatel. Yeah.
Well,
It weirdly looks like a mushroom
Mm-hmm.
type thing.
Uh-huh.
Mushroom in the desert? What are we? The land of the dark elves?
That's why it's so special.
Mushrooms. Ugh.
Desert mushrooms.
It was named Nabisco for a while, but we decided
Mm-hmm.
we didn't like that name.
Well, some of those mushrooms can be quite cozy.
Well, I mean,
Alright.
there's a bunch of. Never mind.
So how do we get to this haven? Looking between the kindly injured Redguard woman and Wynn.
been there once or twice.
She looks at the group around, and she says, "I can show you. Wynn and I can show you. I can return as my last act,
Blast.
as
Why
a
be so?
for the Order of the Wise Women. Unless I am woefully wrong in my assumptions, and I admit it's the worst of assumptions, then there are no more wise women."
It is exceptionally horrible. I hope you're wrong.
We could check. There's one closer.
There's no point. They're going to be hunting you, and so you need to come with us. And if that means like they're going to be following us, then the best thing to do is not to dilly-dally. Just go straight to the source, get what we need, and perhaps come to a head with that bastard.
That singing that he did, the light that he conjured around his blade because of it, is that related at all to this Song of Life that you're talking about? Or is that just Redguard magic that I've never seen before?
I don't know what twisted magic they're attempting to. There was an ancient art of our people known as sword singing. He has twisted that, the scourge, into something I don't even know what it is.
Painful is probably what it is, but I suppose we'll leave that to Bertolus and Wynn to figure out.
Hey,
So probably.
So, in order to get the Song of Life, we will need a true Ansei, not this evil facade of one.
A what? Looking at Wynn.
I am horrible at explaining it. It's essentially, well, and she looks over at Naomi. How would you explain it?
It is a method of coming to. It is an order, but also a method of attuning your physical body with your soul. Most of our kind would manifest this power as a weapon, a sword. Sword singing, Ansei. It's the same thing.
Oh, well, Wynn, you can totally do that. Or
So-
Naomi. Either way.
I'd be willing to perform the introduction ritual for any, though I am not certain if it will work.
Many warriors have tried and failed with the proper tools at hand. It's quite picky as to who is gifted with such a rare. You have to be a truly remarkable person, not only as a warrior, but typically leaders of tribes. Of which I am neither.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Right. Well, it is rather interesting.
But I guess if that means we can get that Song of Life, then we have to do what we can to, I guess, help save the world now. That's what we're doing for a piece of paper. I am still at odds with understanding this.
Save the world, Naomi says. And as she says it, the Red Guard, like caravan guardsman, who's like armor, like looks too big for him, and he's like, save the world, and he kind of perks up weirdly.
The world has been, has been hurt, and we plan on helping it heal.
You know,
Yeah,
the
you
whole
know, no big
Oblivion
deal.
Gates, the opening everywhere last year. You remember that? I remember that. Good times.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. Pretty sure that's the opposite of good times, but
When I was being sarcastic, you couldn't. I thought I got the tone right that time.
Nope.
I know. I was digging with you too.
Alright. Okay, Razor. If that's the way you want to be.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Two can play this game.
Please no.
Yeah, so the long and short of it here is that take it in as you wish, but this is like, the I had envisioned, I don't know how well this is going to work, but envisioned giving the option, just like in the games, to, like enter into one of these, like the Fighters Guild, Thieves Guild, Mages Guild. So this would be the Ansei, and you have the option of joining as an initiate. She'll conduct the rites for anybody who wants to start down that path.
Ooh.
I don't much use a sword, so I'll pass.
It's she says that the path of the Ansei is much more than about using a sword. She puts emphasis on using.
Right. It's not so much as wielding a blade in the traditional sense. It's more about wielding your spirit, as I understand it.
What if my sword already has a spirit?
Why does your sword?
Don't read too much into it, Bertolus.
I just don't know how that would work.
I know.
Would that be dangerous?
What are the perks? Is there a clubhouse? Do we get discounts?
A what?
Library access?
Well, I mean, the Knights of the Dragon have a library, so there could be.
Get to open the Song of Life.
Yeah. So I think what it is somebody has to join in order to
And
for the rest of us to get this
I did. So don't feel super pressured if none of you actually want to. I have an extra NPC over here. He's wearing armor that's too big for him. That is totally gonna volunteer.
I'll do it.
Cool. Standing
Yeah, I'm
up,
already part of a guild.
stepping up next to you
Hallelujah.
Is the other guy. And Naomi says to him, Dulavir, you... And he's like, no, we promised we'd help. And that means I'll do anything. The scourge took from me just as much as it did from you. He. And Naomi kind of accepts that.
I give what's his name like a little like encouraging nod.
All right. She says, I don't know. She'll need. Well, we're going to the Havens anyway. The proper equipment for performing the rites is there. Though they aren't, I guess, strictly necessary, she mumbles to herself and kind of walks off as everybody starts, packing things up. The wounded, the ones who are still wounded, they tend to the few. There's maybe 15 to 20 people here total. They have a bunch of camels. They have quite a few camels. And Dulavir goes off and discusses stuff with his people. Yeah. What do you guys, what do you feel? What do you think?
Naomi's walking off by herself?
Well, she kind of drifts off saying that there's like the stuff she needs can be found at one of the havens, and then mumbles to herself and kind of wanders away, looking wistfully off into the distance. Oh, look, I found this picture. Except maybe with gray hair.
Mm-hmm.
Were some of those guys that Razor killed, were there any horses maybe left behind from them?
Yeah.
Wen stole a horse.
I did.
Oh, you jumped right on one.
Yeah, I did.
I'd take a horse. Desert horse, sweet.
Sure, yeah.
You feel like talking, Wen? Or seem a little tense?
It's a lot to process. But there are things we need to do before I can allow that to settle in. So no talking for now.
I adjust my brooch that you gave me so it settles, catches the sunlight very briefly. All right, I'll find you later.
I go and I fall into step with Naomi.
Okay. She waits. Yeah, she walks and lets you walk beside her.
The longest moment, I do not say anything. I just let her kind of guide where she's going and what she's saying and mumbling.
Yeah. And she stops and she looks at you, and she's like, this is right. This is where we are meant to be.
How can you say such thing when our tribe could be dead? Was that supposed to happen?
Maybe.
Before why?
The land here, the world we live in, it changes. It has changed before, and will change again, but during these changes, not all of us will be in the next world exactly in the same way we are here.
What do you mean by that?
I think that when the coming of a new era finishes, the world will be drastically different.
That doesn't have to get as far as the desert. The desert has always been the same as it has been for thousands of years. This endless sea of opportunity and just peacefulness.
And before that, the homeland of our people had existed for thousands of years before it sank beneath the waves.
Didn't get to say goodbye to me, but
When our ancestors warned our people about the power of their spirits, they didn't listen. So we kept our secrets. The knowledge was alive, but there's a reason we have kept it to ourselves. It would, if there was no strife, no problem, I don't think we'd be able to convince any of the wise women to
change this.
divulge. You just happen to leave not long before we start getting hunted down. You just happen to show up right here, right now.
Seems so. Well, we gotta do what we must. No time to grieve just now.
Okay. She hugs you again.
She hugs her back just as tightly, and a couple of tears kind of escape and kind of catch the light as they fall, but only just a few.
Oh.
Um,
Your mother would be proud.
would have been good to know that the last time I saw them was going to be the last. That was one thing I could change, it would be that.
Perhaps you will see them again?
Not anytime soon.
Okay. Returning back to the others, the caravan, the small caravan here, they're kind of they go back and forth about what they're going to be doing, and it's basically they come to the conclusion that if the wise woman is really what the raiders are after, then and they have enough to split up and send you guys one direction while they all go the other direction, then they're willing to take that. Though that means they have to, split resources and stuff. I guess they're not too worried about it since they have this water. There are camels who have water packs. Pretty much all they're carrying is just these sacks of water that droop on either side of their humps. And they have, it looks like some of their stuff is damaged, but most of they have like random things. And the Dulavir comes up to you, Vale, and is like, when Have you known her long?
I have known her for some time.
Well, what's she like?
She is a strong and courageous individual that is prepared to face any obstacles that stand in her way.
And quite possibly out of your league.
Good. Yeah.
I'm kind over here. I'm not going to jump into that.
Hey, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
He says, well, are you're not gonna join, you're gonna take the rights to be whatever an Ansei is? I guess I don't even know. Something about spirit and swords and singing.
You should have more respect for your own culture.
Right. Yeah.
But no.
I am no warrior. I am no wielder of a sword. That is not the path that I am on. But Wynn and Bertolus here are both masters of the sword.
I think you have a very strong spirit, Vale. Perhaps
he
your
thinks I'm a
spirit would be the
master.
strongest sword at all.
Yes, clearly my spirit is strong.
I have no doubt that his spirit is strong. It's that his
Wait, Vil,
willingness to.
Did you jump off a cliff?
Try something.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, into water. It's called diving.
it's called
I've
diving.
heard.
That water was not very deep.
Middle of combat. Goodness. Oh,
I did go feet first, if that's...
Right. So he would have only broken his legs.
His ankles? All of his ankles.
Right. All of his ankles.
What? We're kaleidoscoping. What's...
Oh, yes, this works perfectly. Got it. Almost.
Right.
Anyways. No, I don't think the rest of us have quite the temperament. As interesting as it is.
My singing voice is terrible.
Ah. Ah.
Well, that's it.
What is...
All
we're all
the
dark.
characters
Well,
now
so
get
since
to
I
play
don't,
without
my
us.
laptop internet wasn't working, I usually have a secondary Discord up to the side. Because my other one has to stay here so that it stays the same on. But you can pop out the video chat, and then I can put Discord up here. Now I can check stuff. There we go. It's all right. He's like, oh, you can't sing? I can't sing either. I'm trash at it. I just play the Alos. I didn't realize I didn't decide which exactly. I'm going to go with Alos. Bass Alos.
Right.
Well, I'm sure you'll do fine.
I'm gonna go refill my water skin, and then I leave the conversation.
Yeah, he kind of maybe gets that, like, okay, I'm not successfully connecting with these people. Great. And he kind of, like,
Cool.
goes back over and, like, to stuff opens up. Thing is trying to arrange his stuff since he's leaving. So he's separating things out. He's got, like, a one of the carts has, like, things that open, like drawers or doors, and inside is like a shelf of books in there. Can I have somebody roll perception for me, or everybody?
Sure.
The four of you back here at the camp.
I'll do that. Whoa!
All right.
Okay, Razor.
Somebody critted.
All right. I may have been drinking, but books are involved. So
It's pretty in character.
What'd you get?
Yeah.
I critically succeeded.
You critically succeed. Sitting there with big fat lettering, easy to see. Your eyes just fall on it. You weren't even paying attention all that much. Big fat letters. The Book of the Daedra in his little.
Hold the phone. Excuse me. Can I see that?
The bookshelf. Yeah, we picked up a bunch of new things in Sentinel, and we were gonna see if we could sell some further south. Not a huge market for books at the moment, but
Oh well. Depends on who you're selling to.
do you want one?
Yes. Yes, I would very much like one.
Sure. Well, I suppose for saving us, you could have one for free.
Oh, well, that's awfully kind of you, and I will accept this gift.
Sure. He
Slightly
gestures.
frowns.
We got all sorts of different things. He kind of gestures at the books. Got something you're looking for in particular, I like adventure stories.
Well,
The Real Berenzia. Have you read all of them in the series?
I have not.
Oh.
Have you read the Have you read the stories of Nerevar?
No.
I mean, there you go. But I'll have to make it a point of reading your stories.
The Real Berenzia, not the fake one.
Mhm.
So what book? I mean, I'm assuming you want
The book on the Daedra.
this one. Ooh, this fancy script on this one. Sure, Daedra though. Wait, isn't that the name for the things that came through the Oblivion Gates?
Yes.
Oh.
Why do you want that book?
No reason. No reason at all.
Boy.
He hands it over to you.
Mhm.
Neo, is that a good idea?
What? Refilling my water skin? Yes, we're in a
Oh,
desert.
right.
Why would you? I'm
Never
confused.
mind.
Okay.
Hmm. And I will proceed to investigate this rather ornate
Roll
copy
scholarship.
of Book of the Daedra.
Cool. You're quite the scholar. You pop it open and you immediately notice. You start kind of flipping through. Someone's been through this book many times. It's in very good shape, yet there's notes all over it.
Mm-hmm.
Notes that describe, partially describes rituals. What else? Things are underlined. There's you find one page that says it's in the front, right in the front cover on the inside. It says that madness masks the path ahead, and hidden knowledge shows the way. Then on the last page, is what looks like red ink or maybe blood.
Mm-hmm.
And the symbol that's there is the same, like just simple pattern that's on the end of the satchel, the thing that's the lid on the satchel that carries the Elder Scroll. The little tube.
Well, that is very interesting. Madness. Not a lot of things that pique my interest like this.
Dang books about Daedra and madness. Shit.
Okay, well you can think about that for a little while.
Yeah, I'm basically riding along and reading this book.
And then other than that, I think it's you could look up the Book of the Daedra. I believe is an actual book.
Mm-hmm.
The Daedra. Yep. Oh, let's see. Oblivion. Cool. Yeah, well, I'm not gonna. Okay,
It's okay, I found it.
perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
So they spend a little bit more time getting ready, but then they are ready to split up, continue on their way.
I assume no one else was particularly injured or anything.
Not super bad. There were a few others if you want to spend some magicka, but you'll be able to recover again your magicka before.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to make some rolls.
I mean, if there's anything particularly bad, I will totally magic it. So I'll just assume 2 rolls here and call it good.
Okay. Oh yeah, look at that. You helping. You find,
Good
you know,
game.
you triage some and figure out which 2 seem to be the worst, and those are the 2 that you focus on with your magic. They're thankful and glad that they won't be slowing anybody down after this. So they leave you with, or I mean, they're ready to separate. You guys have camels with water, 2 NPCs, 2 horses, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
and like 4 camels, and Naomi and Dulavir and yourselves.
Oh man, do we have to ride the camels?
Don't have
You
to.
could ride on the horse and I'll take the camel.
I don't really want to ride anything. Can't we just walk?
I think spend so much
With
time
how
on
much
it.
the camels will be carrying in water, perhaps walking is a better option for most of us. But
Oh
I
my
can
God.
ride and scout ahead. Well, or Wynn can. She's probably the better scout in the desert.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've got no problem sitting on a camel. It allows me to read this book a little bit more.
All right. Well, roll camel sitting. I just want to know how effective you are at this. And
Roll.
Oh, that's my skill! Oh,
Uh,
sorry. I thought it'd come up.
I've got a 5 in camel sitting.
you and Wind, is that I kind of like that suggestion. Do you want to be the scout? Naomi will kind of give the general like that way-ish. And you could potentially ride out in front.
I think it would be a good idea to keep an eye out for any near duels.
Cool.
I'll fall behind a little bit and bring up the rear guard. Hey,
Butt guard. So then roll, Christina, roll for me. Boy, I think athletics we said was riding a horse.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
And then a perception roll as well.
That's horrible. Perception. Ugh. Damn it.
Or-
Can I do can I do a reroll for perception? It's just it's so horrible. There's this I don't know, nomad without her tribe.
I think part of you being in the front as the scout means you get a free, because this is your territory. So either one of your aspects would apply probably, or there's a new one. There's a scenario aspect that's just for you.
Oh, okay. I'll do that. I'll do scenario aspect. I got a 4. Better.
Much better.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
so you kind of ride out. You set off for a ways, and actually maybe it makes sense in this world to kind of wait for the till later in the day, sun's closer to down, to set off, because it does stay relatively light during nighttime. And so you probably travel in those few hours, the hours that are closer to dawn and dusk than in the middle of the day or midnight. You get out ahead a little ways. You guys travel for a bit. And when you kind of maybe come up this rocky sand dune, and you look out over and you see this dust, this wall of dust kind of off in the distance.
Is it heading towards us?
That's so that with your initial roll, you're like, fuck, it's headed straight towards us. And then you're like, no, I am one of the desert. I can do this. And you look at it again and you wait and you watch for the signs and you realize it's going a different direction.
We are pretty fortunate then. How far? I mean, if they're far back, I really don't need to yell to them to let them know it's okay.
Yeah, you might come back to them and then say we should head a little bit further this direct west to make sure we don't get any closer or whatever.
Yep, that's what we're doing.
All right. One evening, for some reason I want it to be night. Because I think this is fun last time. When that effect of the desert at night, the news of your family, your tribe, and all this stuff. So you're having trouble falling asleep this night. And what do you know? It just so happens that Vale over here is up on watch duty, or keeping the fire alive in the middle of the night. Just would be maybe you sit there in silence, but he's right there to talk to if you want. While other people are asleep.
I sit I sit close to him, but not close to him. There's space. And I'm just looking into the fire, kind of lost in my own thoughts.
Quite a day. Hawkwind.
Didn't think coming home would be this horrible, to be honest. I thought it would be something a lot more cathartic.
You obviously didn't expect that news. I'm sorry.
Something you can be sorry for. You're not the one who who killed my tribe and set this entire desert into madness. The best we can do is not to dwell on the things we just couldn't control. And she, like, her hands kind of grip really tightly as she said that, and her voice wavered a little bit before she like paused to regain control of her voice. Um, we must do what we can to make sure that this doesn't continue.
Yes. When I talk about the world being wounded and it is hurting, I can see now that some of that wound that is here and how that it runs deep, not through just those that have seen it, but those that have to live it too. I'm sorry.
I was just arrogant and just because the world beyond this place is so far removed that I thought that they were safe and they were removed from all this shit that's gone on and the whatever oblivion happened and all the other things that we're trying to take care of. I guess it's unbelievable. That's what I get, just for assuming the people I cared for were safe.
I think it is clear to me that what has gone on, what will go on, is all connected in some fashion. It's not the sort of thing you can run away from, or looks a little bit over to where Neolithineth is sleeping, or just go into the forest and ignore. Because
Brood.
because it is all here. I am still learning.
That's all life is, right? We gotta keep on learning, because once we stop learning, hubris will get the best of us, and then people close to us will die. I wanted to go home and just selfishly just pretend like none of these past year and some has happened at all. But that's irresponsible of me, and I know that now.
I think that I wouldn't call it irresponsible because none of us can truly be prepared to return home and find that it is not home anymore. For it is that place of comfort that we hope for, right? And if it is gone, if it is changed, then now you sit on shifting sands looking for a different home to find.
Yeah, you're pretty wise for a kid. I have to give you that. I guess the best thing to do is to face what may come. And after this all settles, find a new place to call home, huh?
I am glad that when we face whatever is coming ahead of us here, whatever has already brought this doom upon your home, that we'll get to do it together.
She like reaches over and clasps his shoulders a little bit too firmly. Like he kind of like probably stumbles a little bit. So she
Looks at strength. Yep.
yeah.
She's got some serious muscles.
Yeah.
Keep
So
going.
that
Keep going.
no, I mean basically, so it's just like she doesn't say anything more. She just clasps his shoulders in like just to solidify what has already been said.
Yeah, Vale won't say anything else either. He'll just kind of turn his gaze towards, especially if there's some stars out at the moment, whatever beauty we can find in the night desert, and look that direction, ponder as he pokes the fire once or twice again.
God damn it! Where the hell did my suit jamma go?
Maybe your guys' talking woke Dulavier. 'Cause he kind of isolates himself a little further away, and he pulls out. I changed my mind. It's not Nalos. It's too obnoxious for the effect I'm going for here. It's like just a little flute, just like a little bone flute that he's got. And he's like off to the side playing it, and he's actually quite good. He plays a really simple yet haunting desert song. And the crackling of the fire and the sleeping of the peoples. All right, you two roll perception.
Oh God.
Don't worry, Dulavir's rolling also.
To go. Hold on. Was it? Great.
Fair. So just the 2 here.
Got 3. I'm good.
Wynn, I don't know, maybe you're trying to go back to bed. Maybe you're just there sitting around the fire listening to the music. You notice just like a gust of wind that kind of comes through and blows a few things around. It's not too crazy, but then there's another one. And then you kind of look like back the direction it's coming from, and you're like, that's weird. It was the same direction I saw that storm earlier. And you kind of look, and in the dark, it's hard to tell, but you swear the horizon looks like it's moving. Just this fuzzy line as the wind starts picking up.
And it's moving towards us.
You think so?
Fuck. So I actually say that out loud, and I stand up on my feet, and I point towards the horizon with the 2 people who are awake, and I was like, do you see what I'm seeing?
The horizon sure offers unique desert beauty at the moment.
No, it's a sandstorm.
Do-ga-do-ga-do.
Doesn't mean it can't be beautiful.
Do-do-ga-do-ga-do.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of people think it's beautiful until it like rips their flesh asunder from their bones.
I know lots of beautiful things that can rip people's bones of thunder. Side eyes at Wynn, and then goes to let people know about the sandstorm.
I think that's the best compliment Wynn's gotten so far.
It is. Vale's got game.
Yeah. There,
I should hope
Naomi
so.
wakes up at that and is like, oh, sandstorm. Well, I suppose it could be worse. And like right as she says that, you see like a flash of lightning off in the distance, and it illuminates this like tall wall that you swear there's maybe a face or something that was in there. Very briefly.
What's going on?
And a few seconds later, this low rumbling comes up.
Damn
and
it,
it's like,
Imhotep.
Who released the button?
So to be clear, I did in fact get distracted by staring at it again.
Yep. All right. Well, Bertolus, he's doing it again.
See, wait, where's it going? What? Where?
We need to get going.
Going where?
What do
Away
we
from
even
here. We need to find
do
a
in a
cave with a rock.
sandstorm?
You find shelter,
Are there caves in the desert?
or you find the next biggest
there's.
sand.
She says there's ruins.
Well, there's always ruins, isn't there?
Ruins nearby
Oh,
of an ancient peoples that was here even before my people left Yokuda.
Mhm.
well,
Sounds good to me. Let's go.
sounds better than being in the open.
What could go wrong?
Let's go.
I'm gonna casually glare at whatever bag we have the Elder Scroll in. No reason.
Yeah, it's there with the Vale, right? Vale?
I glare at one of Vale's bags.
Yes, I too blame Bale.
Let's see. So I think I like athletics. I think I'm leaning towards athletics.
Mm-hmm.
It's either that or physical stress roll. It's like your saving throw,
Mm-hmm.
I suppose.
Ugh.
So we're
Alright.
rolling athletics to get to the ruins before through the storm. Is that what I got?
Well, yes, or as you realize as you start to get moving, basically in the storm, as it kind of rolls over and you start getting pelted in the face from the side by little tiny bits of dirt that are flying through the air and just kind of stinging, smacking you. Ooh.
I'm
Oh, this
to
is.
tap.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna
What-
I'm very good at this.
Yeah, we can see.
Did you say athletics or your physical stress?
Or physical stress, I suppose.
How do we roll physical stress?
What's your current physical stress?
Oh, that's way better than my non-existent athletics.
wait. So can I
Do I
add
want
my
to do this? Yeah, I think so.
like
This
my
helps Ed.
physical 6, like the 6?
Yours
stress?
would be a 6, yeah. It's
Aha!
probably a better bet than everybody else. Maybe this is not the right choice, but
Well,
I
for
think I'm
physical
saving
stress, cool. Rolled the same thing. Good. Consistency. Woo.
Good job.
I think Greg changes to a 2. I'm going to say there's a brief moment here where you got, it's just you just can't see very far. And Neo, there's this brief moment where you're like right behind them. There's you even have like put your hand out to touch the camel that you're like walking next to. You stop, kind of stumble to the side a little bit. You reset your footing. It's like, oh man, it's getting more and more sandy out here. And you look up, and like the camel is gone. Like it was just right there a second ago.
Okay. I hate the desert.
So I was really hoping this would be maybe Vale would get lost, but
Can I grab on to Neil Ilfness and like pull her onto my like horse?
well, roll like a you're searching for her, so you
Yeah,
realize
so-
she's missing, and
Try it.
Roll
Perception?
perceptions.
perceptions, yeah.
Mm.
I'm gonna tap. There's a story about this, about somebody being lost in the desert for 40 some odd days, and
I don't want to be lost in the desert for 40 days. I'll die.
You'll be
which
fine.
I realized, so that's why like I am like trying to
Right,
find
right. Which is how they didn't realize until 40 days how to find them, and then after
Right.
that's when if they had known from day one,
That's all I had to do was turn around and they were there. Then yeah,
right there.
I turned around and
Easy.
she was still
I
there.
heard a story about a man who survived in the desert for 40 days. Neil Iffelneth is not anywhere near as close to that, so we need to find her now.
Right. So then I
Oh,
got
boy.
a 2. Which is
Uh,
fair.
Vale, do you want to roll? You don't have to.
Rolling for
Perception.
Ugh.
Neo has disappeared.
Vale, you stay here. I'll go get her.
I mean, if you all get to safety, I can probably figure it out.
No.
I got a superb.
so I got a 3. Good.
Everybody did better than me. That's fine.
So
I didn't want
teamwork.
to save her.
Really, what your fate point here is doing, Win, is like you turn around and you're like, oh, she's not there. Everybody else seems like maybe like they're not all that super concerned. Like it's like Neo is gonna be fine, but you're like, no, we need to turn around and look. There's this story about
It's one
this person who got lost in a storm for 40 days. We're not gonna have that And so you get everybody to kind of turn around and stop and look. And Bertolus, you're like, you kind of slide down the steep incline you had just kind of been crawling up that Naomi was leading you or whatever, and you like almost fall right on top of where Neo's like standing there looking for where you went. And you like bump into her from behind.
I'm gonna help hoist her onto my horse and lead the horse back to the party.
I'm uncomfortable with being on a horse. I'm very unhappy with all of the events that are happening.
Well, don't get lost then.
Maybe.
Well, let this be a
people
lesson.
on your long goddamn legs should walk slower.
Maybe you should evolve longer legs.
I physically can't.
I know, I'm just giving you shit. I'm sorry. Are you okay?
Get away from me, Razor.
Just
Wow.
asking if you were okay, but alright.
No time to talk. Let's keep going.
It's more like, are you
Push.
okay?
Keep going.
It's now the time for lip. Okay.
And the answer was yes from Neil Lilfaneth.
Yep. With a
Now-
name like Neo Lilfaneth, can I ever not?
Yeah, you always got time for lip.
Yep.
Leo Lipthineth.
Neil Lilfaneth.
Snake.
Puppy.
Don't get a tail
Why?
wag. Oh.
Aw.
He just wants food.
Mm-hmm.
Classic.
Yep.
I will thank Bertolus when we eventually get to safety.
So yeah, you push on. It's like an hour of this, pushing through, slogging through this storm that just keeps howling around you, and you finally you get into this area that is. Oh, actually, I like you know the Abydos from Stargate. Anybody
Mhm.
seen that?
Yeah.
And there's that entrance. Here, I think I can.
Find it pretty easily. But I know what you're talking about.
Abydos. Stargate. Perfect. Yeah, this is except without the pyramid, perhaps.
Right.
Just this. This is, I think, what you guys find. I'm gonna stick this in here in the Discord. Yeah. Nice. This sort of thing.
Nice.
You guys kind of come up on. Naomi sort of is like, there's the entrance, and leads you.
Oh, that's a different kind of ruins than I was expecting.
It doesn't particularly matter at the moment.
Yep.
Hopefully it has the same kind of undead we're used to dealing with in these places. Or none at all.
Undead?
I'd take none at all.
I just assume I misheard that sentence.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Fine.
Oh, but if we
Probably.
do and you find any mort flesh, let me know.
Any what?
Don't
So
worry
now
about it.
It's an alchemical component. It's also a people component.
Dead people.
That sounds unethical.
Right, well,
They're already dead. What do they care?
I mean... Isn't that used mostly for poisons?
Maybe.
What do you need poison for?
Uh-huh.
Things.
Probably to ruin my drinks.
Why would I ruin
Oh,
your
I approve
drinks? Oh.
The stone here, as you guys come up, has like this sort of metal, kind of goldish bronze metal plates that are in very detailed
Mm-hmm.
artwork and designs all over them. And as you kind of come around the entrance and push your way further in, Naomi stops, just a couple of feet. It's this long hallway that she stops in and is. You guys take shelter.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I think he was stating that we all take shelter, not
Not that Naomi stays out in the storm.
like
Got
you
it.
guys take shelter. I'll stand out here.
I mean, if she has something like awesome up her like.
I mean, if she did something like that, I think we'd have to like drag her in. Like,
Well, I mean, okay, but that's something Win would do, so she just assumes other people would.
right?
I would not foolishly stand out in the middle of a desert storm. I have
No.
some self-preservation.
Win a good old sensible win.
Well, and thank God she's sensible, or I might have been lost hours ago.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Win.
Oh,
She blushes.
Well, I thanked you on the horse. Stupid horse.
neat.
I
Well,
think the horse likes you.
I guess since we're sitting in, I may as well crack open another cold one.
I don't think they're cold anymore.
Mm-mm.
They sure aren't.
I bet it's about the same temperature as that camel.
Yep.
Yep.
Tastes
Well-
about the same too.
Oh, God.
I'm going to take this time to try and get all of the sand out of all of these different layers of fabric I'm swaddled in.
Hey, sorry, you got the fancy,
It should be fairly easy.
and it's likely
Just
they
shake
gave you at the when they were at the with the caravan.
Yeah.
They might have given
When?
you some more.
Win bought me this outfit. Is there an easy way to do this, or do I have to take all of it off and shake it out like a tent?
Just start jumping.
No, you just and she goes over and she like pats you and then just like the sand sloughs off.
Ah, wow, that's more than I thought there was going to be.
You just eat it.
Yeah, like this.
Good roughage for your digestive system.
I'm a desert nomad.
Also, grape nuts come from the desert.
I didn't know the desert people just ate sand.
That's how they stay alive.
And hey, I mean, when in Rome.
That's how you survive 40 days in the desert. We went through this.
Give up and start eating sand to stay alive.
Been start eating sand.
I'll have you know, there's a lot of stuff in the sand that's nutritious, like salt.
I miss trees. Is there a place to sleep around here? I'm gonna look for traps. Desert sucks.
There's a spot right
Sure,
there to
you
sleep.
could- you
There's a
could
spot
go.
right there to
I
sleep.
kind of stopped you at the entrance because I didn't want to force
we
it.
go
but there is,
inside.
you can go deeper. In
Yeah.
it is dark.
I mean, I'd like to go further into at least a point where the room opens up a little more.
All right.
I'll create light.
Yeah. So you, poof, glowing light appears above your hand. I can't remember. We decided this once already.
I mean, it appears in my hand and then floats above my head. So
Sure. Roll a. Just to make sure.
Alteration?
Yeah.
I can do that. Yeah. I got a 5.
Okay. So it's it like doesn't work the first time. You go to do it and nothing happens, and you're like shit. You like kind of like kick it again. You're like, and then I don't know, whatever. And then you get it to start up. You get the spell off, and it lights up around you.
Do I notice that at all?
Maybe, yes.
I don't see why you wouldn't notice that. It's pretty noticeable.
I will do the slow turn and eye contact and then raise an eyebrow at him
What?
before returning to looking for traps.
You keep looking at me and raising an eyebrow, expecting me to know what that means. Are you concerned? Is that concern?
Everybody has trouble with that every once in a while. I'm just surprised you did, is all.
Oh, well, pardon me if my magic hasn't been working the way it's supposed to lately.
Has something to do with your drinking.
Why might that be?
Do you really care?
Well, yes, it is a direct impact on my survival. I think you said it was a long story last time, and this storm looks like it's going to last.
It is a long story, and I highly doubt. Maybe you guys do want to hear it. I don't know.
I mean, if it gets you kicked out of the Mages Guild, it's probably kind of important.
Damn it. All right.
Okay. First, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You get that light spell going.
Yep.
Bodhi, roll me a trap perception. Perceive trap.
Do.
And you will move deeper in. Find your shelter. The hallway behind you, there is this kind of low howling noise as the air moves past and creates a... just like the guy's flute. Yeah.
2.
You don't find any traps. You know, traps in here. Roll athletic. No, kidding.
Shit!
You find yourself in a large chamber, and again, it's got this metal, more and more metal worked in with the stone in really impressive kind of craftsmanship. There's also pipes, and there's a doorway, and you swear to God, like, there are gears that stick out.
Ah! And there's a door, you said?
There's a door, yeah.
We are
Otherwise,
not
this looks
going
like a big kind of
past that
chamber.
door.
Mm-hmm.
I recognize this at
That's
least.
what you said about the Iliad ruins.
Did I say that in the Iliad ruins?
Or maybe it was somebody else said
Iliad
that
ruins, I know. Dwemer ruins, I don't. Not well, only from stories, and they're always dangerous.
Yeah, I'm far more aware of Dwemer ruins.
Do you guys say that out loud?
Yep.
Yeah.
Naomi says, Dwemer?
I believe the mortal men races call them dwarves.
They're like this big, usually a little fat. Nobody's seen one in a really long time.
Elves with fantastic beards.
Mechanically inclined.
Mm-hmm.
But let's not get too distracted. I believe Razor was going to share.
I mean, I could share, or we could investigate the ruins.
No. One of those things is far more important than the other.
The ruins, gotcha. Will anybody else let me off the hook?
Shakespeare.
No, I really want to hear this.
Naomi says, it would build trust, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah. Dulavere's like, hey, we just met you, but I'm happy to listen.
All right. Let's see. Well, I'm 99 years old. I'm going to be 100
Wow!
this winter. I've been through a lot. I've seen a lot of stuff. Lived through so many things. I was a young man when I saw Uriel Septim, the seventh, get coronated. I lived through an almost coup, the warp in the west, a bunch of things. But yeah, the Oblivion Crisis was definitely the thing that definitely threw a curveball in my life, anyways. I joined the Mages Guild as a dutiful son of House Bastaragon. And my parents were super proud. Made it all the way up to the rank of Warlock, which is a fairly
Is that high?
It's fairly high. I think there's only like 3 more ranks before you hit the very top, basically.
How many ranks total are there?
I think there's like 10, 12.
That is impressive.
It's pretty high up there. Eventually, I was allowed to teach students, and I set many a mage on their path to learn how to how the basics of magic and what schools they wanted to focus on. Yeah. 2 of my best students were a Khajiit illusionist named Musafa and a Breton battle mage.
But
And
Yeah, a Breton battle mage named Tasha. They were both incredibly skilled, and I was lucky to have them as my students.
I think there's maybe even a moment there where Razor, like that pause when he's like, and he's like a Breton battle mage named, and he stops. Like there's a moment where it's like you maybe difficult to remember. Or like that's, you're like, no, I'm gonna remember the name.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. So the Oblivion Crisis hit, and we were in Vivek. Obviously, the Daedra were just pouring out of gates in the city. Mass panic. Chaos, hysteria, people fighting in the streets, running for their lives. Imperial guards trying to get everyone out of the city as fast as they could. We were holed up in the Mage's Tower trying to come up with a plan. I suggested retreat. Told him that we should probably run, get to safety, come up with a plan later. The city was more or less lost. Mostly because there were several gates that had opened and a larger gate that had just opened. With some sort of siege engine that was preparing to come out. But my students decided that they wanted to try and close the gates somehow. I wasn't sure how they were going to accomplish this goal, and told them if they couldn't come up with a good idea that we were just going to leave, no questions asked.
They heard a rumor that somebody in Cyrodiil managed it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember hearing about the gate outside of Bruma.
Mm-hmm. A massive gate. But they eventually did come up with a plan, and that was to crash crash the small asteroid that was hovering over the city onto the city. Bardur.
Ah,
Naomi whispers to herself, "Asteroid."
Yep.
Asteroid.
What was that, Win?
She like whispers over to Naomi. She's like, I think it's like a big rock.
Like a storm.
It was a very large rock that was hovering over the city. It was going to crash into the city, but Vivek, the man, not the city, stopped it from falling and let it hover in the sky. Way back in the when.
Vivek is a man.
was.
Was a man. Is a man. Yeah, was. He was.
He was
one
is
of
a
the-
man.
He was one of the tribunal. He was one of the most powerful Dunmer who ever lived, really. And was one of the few people who achieved he achieved some sort of awakening called Chime or Chim. I'm not exactly sure on the pronunciation.
But your students decided to drop this rock on the city.
They decided that dropping the rock on the city might close the gates. And honestly, I thought that might work too. Even though I knew that anybody who was in the city would probably still die, as well as anyone fighting still in the city. And of course, the only way to bring down the rock was for us to be inside the rock, so it would also kill us too. But they were very adamant. They wanted to do what they could. If they could destroy the city to save the rest of Morrowind and possibly the rest of Tamriel, they were more than willing to do it. So I couldn't stop them or tell them no. So I just went with them. I went with them. We went up to the moon, or the rock, which is where the Ministry of Truth was set up. And we fought through massive amounts of Daedra until eventually my students decided that the only best course of action was for them to hold the line while I disrupted the magics that kept the rock floating. The rock was put in place with a magic that is so intensely convoluted and just... It was beyond words. Like, this rock stayed up through sheer willpower and in complete defiance with the laws of reality.
Powerful magic.
It's like this was alteration at its peak. Like, this is something that completely changes the realm of what is real. Obviously, touching that was sort of an experience in and of itself. But I managed to break the connection. After
like,
that, there was a flash. And I don't remember much after the flash.
Right.
I woke up after several months had passed in Cyrodiil at the Mage's Tower, and They said that they had found me in the ruins of Vivek, and that I was encased in some sort of crystalline substance.
Eh?
I was basically trapped in a giant crystal. They broke me out. They asked me what had happened. I told them what had happened. I went back to Morrowind, saw the ruins for myself, and that's when I saw that everything was gone.
And you don't know how you survived? I mean, obviously you were in the thing, but like, why?
I have a few theories. I vaguely remember a voice calling to me from beyond, telling me that it wasn't my time. Part of me wants to think that was Azura pulling me to safety or doing something. I also think it's possible that I touching this thing that Vivek had also touched gave me a sense of understanding of reality that allowed me to tap into some sort of arcane mystic power that allowed me to basically dial up my alteration magic to magically protect myself. But if I'm being honest, I don't really know what happened after that. Came to Cyrodiil, I went drinking. I kept drinking. I eventually got in trouble for drinking. I'm sure at some point the Mages Guild probably told me that I was barred, more or less, and I forgot about it. It was only in jail that I sort of sobered up.
That does explain a lot.
Their deaths.
So yes, I'm not surprised the Mages Guild tossed me out for blowing up a city.
Well, did they toss you out for blowing out the city, or never mind.
Oh, I'm positive that's why they threw me out.
We didn't ask when we spoke to them.
I hardly doubt it would have been for being drunk and disorderly. Because if that was the case, they would have given me a reprimand, but I would still be in the Mages Guild. You have to accrue a couple of reprimands before they kick you out completely.
How do you know you haven't accrued many reprimands in the time that you were otherwise impaired?
I suppose that's possible, but I doubt that too. Wasn't a lot of time in between then and now.
But why doesn't your magic work properly?
A side effect of whatever happened when I brought the moon down.
But it's been a while.
I mean, my magic has slowly been coming back. I'm able to do a lot more than I used to. I mean, I struggle a little bit now and then with even simple light spells, but I mean, obviously that chain lightning, a few months ago, that chain lightning would have been completely out of the realm of possibility for me.
I'm gonna shoot a not exactly subtle glance at Vale.
I'm pretty sure Vale has fallen asleep during this. He's not that strong. He just struggled through a sandstorm. It's the middle of the night. He leaned up to listen and is probably passed out against a wall.
Well, something has changed.
It's a tired little guy.
Mm-hmm.
Think that perhaps your drinking is not a good honoring of those that have passed. Your two students, for instance, be disgusted to see the way you are. You're better and more capable than that. A better warrior and a better person.
I certainly don't blame you for choosing to drink. It's a lot easier to forget about the things that make us sad than it is to face them.
But you gotta face them eventually. You can only run for so long until your legs grow tired and your will grows weak. That's when mistakes are made.
I guess I'll just die then.
I mean, we'll all die eventually.
Sooner or later.
You made a great acts in the name of friendship and camaraderie that is understandably heroic. You should not let that and their good deeds wither away. Because clearly you struggled to even remember one of their names. Is that how you wish to honor them?
Little harsh, but not untrue.
Yeah. Well, all I know is that they should be the ones that are still standing, and I should be the one that's in the ground.
Fortunately, that's not how life works. So you have a few choices. You can wither away in a drunken, messy pool sooner rather than later, or you can stand up and honor their death and what they wanted to do, and now they cannot. Move forward with them in mind, instead of keep staying stagnant in a cesspool of filth.
To be fair to him, he is moving forward. He is helping us, and he doesn't necessarily need to.
She eyes the, scattered empty beer bottles. He could do better, though.
He could do worse. I've seen many men drink themselves to death in significantly less time. I don't think he wants to die. Not really. Or he would have by now.
Nope, can't quite bring myself to do that.
And it sounds like you have to choose a path.
Path has already been chosen for me, so to speak.
Oh, Razor, you and I both know, after living as long and through what we have, you can always make a choice. It'll have consequences, but you can always make a choice.
I don't know if I can. As I casually take the book out of the bag that I've been reading and open it up to the symbol, which is the same symbol on the bag that's housing the Elder Scroll.
You can choose not to follow.
You're right.
You'll
Probably
see
could.
it at every turn, and it'll try to force you back, but if you know, you can choose not to follow. I chose to follow, despite my better judgment.
Right. Well.
Give it
I'm
time.
kind of with Razor on this. Sometimes we are bound to fate.
Well. And then this is my choice. My choice is that this is how fate wants to do it, so I'll just help out as best as I can. Maybe make up for some mistakes I've made.
As best as you can. Interesting wording. Why do you say that?
As best as I...
Not your best, just as best as you can. Under what caveat? What circumstance?
Because I'm not as good as I thought I was.
But you could be better. You
I
could
highly
be
doubt.
what you were before. You said you're
better-
getting your magic back slowly.
A better teacher wouldn't have let his students die.
Entirely true.
Could you have stopped them? Really, could you have stopped them?
If I was a better teacher, maybe I could have.
Minds of men.
I don't think you could have. If you taught them to have morals, to be the very best that no one ever was, I think they would have made the same choice. Vale certainly would have made a similar choice.
Yeah, I don't think Vale would have sacrificed an entire town to save a country. I don't think he's got that. I don't think he's got that kind of guts in him to make that choice.
I think he does.
Well,
He'll make the choice
let me
for the good of the
put it
many.
this way. I would rather not have him in a position where he has to make that choice.
Well, no, but that's not what destiny is it? It's not our brothers. It's destiny.
No, I mean,
So are you going to try to teach him to not do that? Or are you just going to give him the tools to make his own decisions?
obviously give him the tools to make his own decisions.
But a better teacher would teach him to save his own life. Isn't that what you just said? I don't mean to be cruel, Razor, but I don't understand.
Well, when you have students that you've literally been teaching for as long as some of you have been alive, you might know.
Okay. The conversation maybe fades at this point. Moves on. Dulavir. Oh yeah, really. No, yeah. The conversation ends when he touches something, and the door goes slides open, and he's like, "Ah, dude."
Oh, well, look at that.
Glare at Dugalavir.
Sorry.
More fate.
Maybe I can close it here.
Uh,
Roll perception. Just as he goes to put his hand up to close the door, roll perception.
What?
Got a couple of goods.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with good, Razor and Bertolus, you hear what sounds like metal rolling metal, like the sound of like yeah, it's getting slightly louder as Dulavir is like, oh, shit. He's got this panel and there's like little things he can press and like little knobs, and he's trying to figure out how to undo it. But yeah, reactions.
Yeah. Have him stop touching things. Holy shit.
Are we in a direct path from the door? Like,
Yeah.
are we like
What do you mean a direct path?
if something were to come straight out of the door,
Would it like run straight into
would it?
Maybe
yeah.
one of you who's standing there, maybe. Dulavir is probably the closest to the actual door. Maybe the rest of you were kind of scattered around. Vale's over on the side. Maybe like there's like a pillar or something he's leaning up against, eyes closed.
Dulavir, I think you need to get away from that door.
So Razor yells at him to stop touching stuff. You say get away from the door. He takes a couple of steps back. Just as in the doorway, in the hallway beyond, from the side comes rolling up this. It's got a sphere for legs and this kind of pointy
Shit.
conical, and it's got a face metal. The whole thing is metal. It's like an automaton. It's got this small face carved into its head, and it's got two pointy blades on either of its arms. Its body kind of sits on top of this thing, and it rolls up into right in front of the door, turns, and just holds perfectly still right there in the doorway, just on the other side.
Friend or foe?
Definitely not friend.
Right.
But it might not attack us if we only don't go in.
All right. Well, not going in. I vote for that.
Naomi's like, that's never happened before.
Never
What do you
had-
mean before?
What do you mean?
Have you been here before?
I've been here a few times. It's how I knew where it was.
Have you been inside the tomb proper?
Yes, these things don't normally come up to the upper chambers, from what I understood. I didn't think there were any.
Well, to be fair, shit in the desert has been getting a little bit more difficult.
Can
Well, these things are usually not very peaceable.
It's really hard to kill.
it stands there in the
Um,
doorway?
I'm gonna
Does
get
not
up
come out.
and back into a shadowy-ish corner with my bow.
I am going to back up and cover Vale and nudge him awake if he's not
Vale,
already
you wake up.
awake.
Bertolus is standing over top of you.
Yeah,
Sword
I
and
like
shield.
kind of startle awake a little bit and like look around and then get a confused look on my face as I look towards the door at the thing that's there.
Get ready to run.
Run
I
where?
know.
Into a sandstorm?
We're kind of stuck.
Well,
So-
I don't know, maybe deeper in.
I look over at Naomi. Tell us all that you know about this thing. You say it's supposed to be down
They're
below.
like defenders. This place still has defenses. The few times I've been here, the people.
As all Dwemer runes have.
There was somewhere up here was it's like almost like a way stop for travelers who knew the way to find this place.
So if it is a defense mechanism, as long as we don't attack, will it attack us?
She looks at you and shrugs. They normally don't come up here. Well, I've never seen
Yeah.
them up here. I mean, I've only been here like 2 times, but
Can it talk?
No. These things don't talk. They are purely just defensive automatons. They have no will of their own. They're just
They had to be given commands somehow at some point. Do you speak Dwemer? Is that even a language that exists anymore?
it is a language. It does exist. Not many people speak it.
It can't be that far from regular Mer languages. Can it?
I was hoping for a butt there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Neil Lilflineth. How good is your snow elf?
You mean the dead civilization?
Yes. Because
Not good.
the Dwemer language is exactly the same.
Well,
Because
then
as
they
much
were
as the-
elves.
As much as the elven language is similar, they're also very different because
Maybe now's not a great time for this?
we were probably not.
Academic debates aside.
Well, academic debates
Just
aside.
sitting there.
Sorry, the elves have probably been our own worst enemy more than people have. So
We've been doing things longer. Look, I'm gonna say very loudly in Bosmer, go away.
it lets out a high-pitched ringing noise right after you say that. It goes beep, like this sort of like chiming robotic noise. And then the door rolls shut and you can hear this sort of metal rolling ball sound sort of moving away.
Oh, see? We're good.
was a little anticlimactic.
Was that a good thing?
I think so. The doors are closed.
Does it apply that, like, we can give it commands, or if it just decided we weren't a threat?
I would go for the latter.
I don't know.
If you'll all sate my curiosity.
Really rather not.
I don't want to go.
Too bad!
I'm kind of curious too.
I'm opening
Ah.
the door again.
Yes, I got him.
We have a mission. We have to go get the Song of Life. We have how many more days of journey through the desert to go through?
Well,
Anyone-
okay, in his defense, we can't do any of that while there's a storm going.
Alright. Alright, well, okay. So
Artemis,
here's
whose
the,
side are you
We
on?
could
All right,
be
wait.
sleeping.
Alright, Neil Lilfaneth, here's the deal. If we're not going to go in here, then maybe you could tell us what you're running from.
I have nothing left. I move because I must.
Uh-huh.
Oh, this is all nice and cozy.
No, I legitimately have nothing left.
So, into the cave we go.
Winnie has like a little bit of a smile, like in a little like spark in her eye, because she's always like, I mean, like a small part of her just like the adventure side, and
Yeah.
she looks over at Razor.
When, goddamn. When reminds me so much of my student, it's not even funny. It's like she's doesn't have a lot of skill for magic, but
Personality-wise.
personality-wise, she is pretty much spot on for Tasha.
Woo! Maybe
A very gung ho battle mage.
She looks over at you. Well, and she waves at the door.
Yep. I'll open the door again.
You go up to the thing, fiddle with the little control, and it doesn't take long to just randomly pressing it. The door rolls to the side.
Mm-hmm.
A few seconds goes by.
Okay.
Then you hear off in the distance this rolling sound. This thing rolls up
Speak, friend, and enter.
right up to the doorway again, turns it very mechanically, and it like kind of slides over top of its ball legs and takes up a spot and stands there.
Okay. At which point, I guess I'll roll a scholar.
I'm just gonna kind of go balls to the wall because I really don't think things through too much sometimes. I think we're gonna listen to the Daedric Princess here and just kind of like walk towards it, like not like threateningly at all. Just walk towards it.
Win. Damn it. What are you
After
doing?
it's attacked, and usually if somebody doesn't like, it's probably waiting for it to get attacked, and if it doesn't get attacked, it should be fine,
Mhm.
theoretically.
Theoretically.
I mean, I'm still like, I walk up to that direction and say something like loud to it. Show us your secrets.
It stands there and looks at you. Or maybe it's not looking at you. It's hard to
It doesn't-
tell.
It doesn't really have eyes. It's basically just this gold-plated face.
I
Maybe it
casually,
needs to be in Bosmer.
put
Maybe
one
it's
foot
Bosmer.
over the
Yeah.
threshold.
I'm gonna try and say something in. I'm gonna roll scholar for this.
Yeah, roll scholarship. Christina, what was that?
I'm gonna put a foot over the threshold and gauge from there how it reacts.
Just stick a toe over.
Make your scholarship roll, Rip.
Yeah, I got a fantastic. So. I'm just gonna try and be like, do the Dwemer greeting for, like, we're coming in.
So you try your best Dwemer. You're like, I think I know some words. Like, I can try the pronunciation. It's not like you've met somebody else who talks, who speaks.
nobody speaks Dwemer, not for a long time.
So you say we're coming in?
Yep.
Yes. Greetings. We're coming in.
We're coming in. There's a red light that underneath it in its body somewhere that kind of comes on and frames it very aggressively, and you put your toe over and it rears up at you and rolls straight at. Both pointy things come.
I move my foot back and I
to you.
stand there and I look at it.
Okay, it's gonna attack you.
Well, yeah, this went how I basically figured it was.
Give me two defenses.
2 defenses. How do I roll that? Is that athletics?
It's gonna be your either one-handed, two-handed, acrobatics.
All right, I'll do my acrobatics because it's basically the same thing.
Wow, it rolled good.
Oh, wrong one. I did 7C. Hold on. But in the 7C, I rolled a 4, which was great. Does that count?
Roll another one.
And then I'm gonna tap in. I'm using all of my points here. I'm gonna tap.
It's got to be a good one.
Gosh, what am I gonna tap? I cannot. I know. I'm just nomad without her tribe. You know, I have nothing. At the moment I have nothing else to lose but to go toe to toe with this thing. Right?
Keep your fate point, and I want to smash you. You block. You get out of the way on the first one. The second swipe comes in, slices you for 5 points physical stress.
Okay, that's fine.
Slice as you step out of the way of the other one. Let's see who's ready to act here. You're in the corner, Neo.
Yes, and I 100% knew this was going to happen. So I'm going to draw my bow and shoot some mundane arrows at this thing.
Fire!
Ooh, I get to do that now. Superb! And I have 1 armor piercing currently.
Okay. So you're going to do 3, and it doesn't modify to anything?
I don't think so. I just have an iron bow and iron arrows.
So it's going to do 1 point. Only 1 point gets through on that.
Jesus. I hope you guys are good at smashing things.
Eh.
Okay. Bertolus. Your fear was realized. It
Oh,
attacks.
great. Here we go. I'll rush in headlong. Did Wynn even have a weapon out?
You don't think so? No, she hasn't pulled it out yet.
I'm gonna do my best to get in the way of those stabby bits then.
Bad stabby bits, no!
Not a great idea, Wynn. Bump. So let's give it a swirl.
Eh.
Are you attacking or are you making a preemptive?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we weapons just add damage. They don't add to your roll.
The weapons, yeah, that doesn't add to your roll. It's just damage, extra damage. So you get shifts plus the damage modifier of the weapon.
All right. Well, I rolled fantastic.
Ooh. Oh, nice.
And you know what? I'm gonna spend a fate point to make that an 8 because I am a knight of the Dragon Squire.
It's not particularly quick, but it does seem to sense you coming and tries to kind of slide its way, roll its way defensively. It's rolling well. Hey, it's rolling. What?
So if I got an 8 and it got a 3, how many shifts is that? I don't know how to do shifts yet.
Shifts is the difference between your roll and a contested roll. So you got shifts of 3 plus your weapon's extra damage. So you got a steel, you got a katana.
I got a blade of
Akaviri
Akaviri.
sword.
It has a +3 damage.
So 3, and then your +3 from it being enchanted. So you have a +6 overall,
Oh,
which means you do 3 shifts, +6 is 9 points of damage. I take 3 points of that off to do 6 points of damage, and it will take 1 consequence.
I'll take that.
One of its hands goes flying off as you crack into this thing and even maybe shove into it. One of its arms kind of behind and gets stuck at a weird angle. Vale. I'm actually going to go with you next.
Quick. I guess if Razor's not. I was curious if Razor's still at the panel.
Yeah, Razor. What?
Close to the panel.
Yeah, I think he's
And are you
standing.
fiddling with it, or does it look like you're about to like lightning something to death?
I'm probably gonna lightning something.
I'm a little close for lightning, aren't I?
Should be all right.
Magic.
Okay, well, plan 2 then is probably. I'll save that for later and go with plan 1, which is going over to the panel and seeing if I can. In particular, like if it hasn't gotten too far forward yet, and if it's still like in the door, I'd like to like close the door on it. But either way, I'd like to figure out if there's like some on-off switch or something on the panel.
Yeah, so go up. I mean, I think scholarship is the most instinctive role to resolve this. And then Razor, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna lightning bolt the thing.
Don't miss.
Well, my scholarship didn't go great.
Well,
Uh,
luck is
I'm okay
on
with
your
that.
side because I'll either hit it or the spell won't go off at all. So fun times.
I think I'm in a tag. I'm here to help, and
Attaboy.
we roll that just because it's only going to matter if I get like a critical success, anyways. Yeah, no,
You
that's.
improved.
I mean, that's. Yeah, but unlikely to do anything.
Holy
Ooh.
smokes.
are you just doing a... What spell are you doing there, Rob?
So just the lightning bolt spell.
Oh, just a little lightning. Whatever.
Not the fancy chain lightning.
The sparks or...
just sparks upgraded for the single target for more damage.
Sorry. So you got sparks or shock.
Yeah, shock as well.
Launch a bolted energy with someone within line of sight.
Mm-hmm.
Shifts +2 is shock damage. If you say
Yep.
okay, so you got a... Wait, you didn't roll a critical success, did you? You just rolled a 2.
No,
Okay,
I
okay,
rolled a yeah.
So you didn't succeed with style, but you got shifts +2, a shock damage. That's 10 points. Cuts through armor.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like this. You hit it with some energy that kind of sparks around and hits the wall. Bertolus, and when the electricity is kind of bouncing off, and you're going to have to back up a little ways to protect yourself from this release of energy. Just as the door is starts rolling shut, as Vale kind of messes with stuff, is like, I don't know if I can do this. No, I'm the child of destiny. Reaches back in, pulls one of the random levers, and it starts, and it gets stuck there as this thing is like wiggling around. Smoking is coming out of it, the energy still weaving around it, and like your electricity like goes into the door, and it slams shut as this thing kind of bends and breaks into 2 pieces, part of it falling into the room, to the entrance room that you're in, the rest presumably falling on the other side.
Well,
I guess we'll open the door again if we can.
That's the lesson you take from this? Open the door again?
it's dead, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
What if there's another one?
Then we kill it.
Well, then we zap that one too.
I think we're outnumbered here, Bertolus.
Oh boy.
Well, I don't know, actually. The deciding vote would be Vale. We have 2 for and 2 against.
Mm-hmm.
For what exactly?
Going into the ruin.
Oh, well, I mean, whatever you think is best.
That's the thing. We're pretty evenly split. 2 of us don't want to go in, and 2 of us do. You are the final vote.
Mm.
Well, it is true that it seems like some force beyond just the natural one has driven us to this place, and that it is perhaps an unusual time. And it is best if we could understand if that force that drove us here is malevolent or if this is just fate and destiny working its way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm inclined to think that it's just destiny, and so we should probably go in.
Second
Alright.
team stay at home.
All right. So, question: do you guys want to venture in now? If we do the full thing, it might be 45 minutes or an hour longer, which I'm kind of about. Or do you want to venture in now and have a short and sweet run through? Hopefully we can get it done quick. Or do we put it off until next time and kind of do a full, maybe not a full adventure in there, but spend the proper hour that we might need to.
If we're gonna explore the Dwemer Ruin, we should probably fully explore the Dwemer Ruin. So I'm okay with putting it off.
Me too.
Okay, yeah, I think that's the best. I honestly think that's the best option. Because it doesn't necessarily mean we have to do the entire next session inside there.
Right. We'll just do an hour there and then we'll be out.
Okay, yeah.
Depends. We could have some really good RP triggering events in there where somebody yells at somebody else and then we yell at each other for a little bit and we're good.
Tragic backstory?
Yeah.
I'll play the word destiny a lot while we're in there.
Yep. Lots of destiny.
It's goddamn Neil Ilfinith's turn next, goddammit.
That's right. Bare your soul.
I have no soul to bear.
Don't give me this shit of like, oh, I don't have anything. Oh, I'm fine.
There's a reason why you don't have anything.
It's
Yeah,
like there's
and
a
I
reason.
never said I was fine. I just said I didn't have anything.
Yeah, well, you do have something, so spill it.
I have win
Yay!
and
Don't
Vale.
change the subject.
And,
I'm okay
and
with it
Bertolus,
not
too,
Yeah.
I think, at this point. Razor's kind of on the fence. He seems to both like and hate me in equal measure, so
Well,
we'll figure
mostly
it out.
because you constantly steal my booze, but
I could do worse than hide them, and I think you've now directly challenged me to do worse, so
Can't prove it was her.
get ready.
yeah.
Well, yeah, there was a lot of good moments. I like the pauses for role playing. I wish it's the moments, the online virtual. I wish we could be there in person because you can.
Mm-hmm.
Even if two people are having a conversation, you can still have like the rest of the tables there.
Yep. When even doing the streaming, normally we would like hop into a side room to go have the more private, intense conversations,
That
and the
too.
rest of us could just BS. But you can't really do that when we're streaming, or we'll mess up all of the cameras.
Mm-hmm.
We're always on. We got omnipotent observers, or whatever. Third party omnipotent.
Daedric
Anyway, I think we'll call it
Daedric
there as you
princess.
guys decide to step in. By the way, Dulavir was wondering if he got a vote. He was voting for yes. Let's go in.
Dulavir doesn't get a
He
vote.
doesn't get a vote.
No, he doesn't get a vote.
I mean, he kind of gets a vote. We can't just say he doesn't.
I mean, yes, because we're dragging him in with us, but then so does Naomi.
We are? No, we're not.
You
He's
could-
a baby. He has to stay up here. Vale and Bertolus are only going because they're chosen by destiny. He doesn't get a. He's like 5. He's just not coming with us.
Did you just consider Bertolus a baby?
They're all children. All of them are children.
mean,
Even Win is a
I'm
child in
buying.
comparison.
Bertolus, you've just been
Dulavere.
called a child by the only person who was in your camp. Do you want to switch sides?
You know what? Maybe I do.
That's what I thought.
You're what, 18? 20?
I'm 20.
Live twice as long as you have.
Yeah, and I've lived 5 times as long as he has, so la-di-da.
Damn
He's a
you,
child
old.
to you as well, then.
It's okay. I've lived 9/10 as long as him, and
And you're still more pleasant to talk to.
oh wow. Well,
God, I love this back and forth between us. It's just glorious. Like, I can't get this with anybody else.
Good friendships here. Definitely
Right.
not built on pedantic banter.
Well, I mean, that's elves, baby.
All right. So yeah, thanks everyone. We're gonna wrap it up here. I'm gonna end the stream. Thanks everyone.
Bye.
Thanks again for
Bye.
chat.
Have a good night.
Bye.